Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to show you how to do a lash lift at home on yourself. So I'm going to show you the products that you're going to need to do a lash lift. You need tint, so possibly black tint or blue black tint and developer with a little dapping dish to mix it or something to mix your tint in, and a brush of some kind to put your tint on. Then you're going to need an oil-free makeup remover. It needs to be oil-free 100%. You can't use anything on your lashes before you lift them that contains oil, so something oil-free. You need your shields, whatever shields you're going to use. I'm going to use a small shield, so they normally come in small, medium or large, so you've got to decide what shields you want to use, or rods, and you need one of these. You need lash glue to stick your lashes to the shields. You need a mascara wand. You need my favourite things in the world, which are toothpicks, which is going to make this lash lift so much easier. And last but not least, you're going to need your products that are actually going to lift your lashes. So I'm using the brand 𝐓𝐤𝐻𝐤. You guys could be using anything at home. Just make sure you follow the instructions of the timings they need to be left on the instructions that you get with the brand that you're using. So I'm going to be using 𝐓𝐤𝐻𝐤, and it's my setting lotion and my lifting solution. That is all you need. Oh, sorry. And you need some water, lukewarm water if you can, and we need some cotton pads and cotton buds. And that is everything you need for a lash lift. Let's get started. First thing before we get started, you need to make sure you have not lifted your lashes within 6 weeks. So you can't lift them any sooner than 6 weeks. So my lashes have not been lifted, I think, for about 8 weeks. First step is we're going to cleanse the lashes. Make sure you haven't got any makeup, make sure you haven't got any mascara or any oils on the lashes. So you need to decide what shield you're going to use. I'm going to use a small shield because I want the most tightest curl. So just position it on your eyelid, make sure it fits comfortably. That's pretty comfy. Some people like to cut the shield off a little bit if it feels a bit too long. I never do. I just think it's easier because sometimes if you do cut it, you've not got enough shield to work with, and sometimes your lashes, you have to stick them together and you can't fan them out. That, where it's sat now, I would not cut. I don't think that's too long. I think that's absolutely fine. I'm now going to get my glue, and I'm going to glue my shield all along the base where that's going to stick to my eyelid. So glue all that like that. Make sure all your eyelashes are exposed, and make sure you're not sticking the shield over any eyelashes, and just wait a few seconds just for it to dry. Sometimes you will get a little bit of a corner lifting. If you do, it doesn't matter, because actually when you start sticking your lashes to it, it'll stick back down, but try your hardest to keep it as secure as possible. Make sure none of the lashes are stuck under the shield, and make sure your shield is quite low to your lash line. I mean, I could have probably got that a bit lower, but it's not going to affect it that dramatically because I can still lift those lashes up onto there. Right, so we're going to go and put the glue on now. Let's start in the middle. It's probably the easiest place to start. Once you've got glue on there, we're going to hold the shield and we're going to work those lashes up onto the shield. So your eyes probably will feel a bit watery, and it's quite hard to see because obviously you've only got like half a vision because half of your eye is shut, but just take your time with it and just try and make sure they're really stretched out. After you've got the middle ones all stuck up, I'm then going to go in and do the front of the lashes. So again, just pop the glue all over the shield. Find it easier when you hold the shield down and do it. And then just bring those ones in the exact same position as the last one that we just did. Your eyes are definitely going to water, but you've just got to ignore it. And you look like an absolute lunatic, but this is what you have to do for a lash lift. After you stuck this section down, I'm going to go and do the other end of the lashes. And flick those up. So once you've done all that to the lashes, stuck them up, if you see any like bits that are really clumpy together like this, just put a little bit more glue on it, and then just try and work that glue through and spread them out a little bit more. As long as you try and get them all really tightly stretched and as fanned out as you can, that is exactly how they are going to set. When you're moving on to the other eye, it starts getting even harder because obviously you've only got even less vision. So if you don't feel confident enough, just do one eye at a time. Right, once that's glued, we're gonna do the exact same steps as what we've done on the other eye. So in the middle first with the glue. Little steps at a time. Once the middle bit's done, go in and do the front, and then we're going to lift those lashes onto the shield so it sticks it back down. So at this point, this eye is definitely going to be stinging a little bit because it feels like your eye's really dry because you've obviously got your eyelid open, which it's not used to sitting open for that long. So that eye, if you are going to move on to the next one, your first eye will definitely start feeling a little bit, almost like a little bit sore. Again, those corner ones, try and stretch them and lift them up the best you can. Be careful not to get any of your bottom lashes in there either. And then remember what I said, if you have like any clumpy bits, just put a little bit of glue on your toothpick and then pop it on your eyelashes and then just manipulate them and move them into the position that you want them to move in. So if you didn't put glue on that area, which I've just done, and you just tried to move them, you'd literally like pull your eyelashes out. So make sure it's got glue on them before you try and move them again. Okay, we are there. So I'm actually going to close my eyes as I speak because it feels so much nicer than having them open. So now we're going to put the product on. So just make sure they're all lifted. Make sure you haven't got any of the bottom lashes stuck up with the top lashes. Make sure they're all fanned out. Next product, so we're going to use the first solution. So your first solution is your lifting lotion. No matter what brand you're using, you will have 2 steps. Always make sure you use step 1. So before you open the product as well, make sure you have read the instructions, what you need to do and the instructions for how long you need to leave it on. So as soon as you start applying it, it's super important that you do not leave it on for any longer than the recommended time, as you are going to over process your lashes. And then we're going to apply it all over the base of the lashes. Do not apply this product or the Lash Lift products all over your lashes because you'll end up frazzling out the tips of your lashes because they're too fine, they're too delicate, so you'll over process them. And make sure you've got a nice thick coverage of product on there. Once that one is on, set your stopwatch for the amount of time that it is recommended. So I'm going to leave that first one on for 6 minutes and then I'm going to go in and apply to the second lash. So it's up to you if you want to set a second timer for when you've finished your second eye, or whether or not you go by the first timer. Make sure when it's time to come off, you do this eye first, and then by the time you've done this eye, it's normally perfect timing to do the second eye. So I always go by one timer, but always make sure I remove the eye that I've done first. Okay guys, the alarm's gone off, so I'm going to start taking off my first product. So with a dry cotton bud, I am then going to get a fresh cotton bud and I'm just going to dip it in a little bit of water. Make sure it's not too wet, just maybe give it a wipe with your finger and then go over the same one again, just making sure there's absolutely no product whatsoever remaining. By the time you've done that eye, the next eye will be ready to come off, so same again. Right, once that product's off, make sure none of your eyelashes have come off the shield. If they have, just use a little bit of glue and stick them back down. So just scan over them, make sure none of them have come off the shield. Mine are absolutely fine, so I can go in and put my step 2 straight on there. If some of your lashes have come off, it's really important to make sure they're glued back down. So this is now going to set your solution into place. And then this time you're going to leave this one on for 5 minutes or however many minutes you are told. Set your stopwatch again for the amount of time it's recommended, and then go in and do exactly the same to the next eye. So it's important to try and work quite fast when you're applying the product, as the timing is very crucial. You do not want to over-process the lashes, so try your hardest to apply as fast as possible with trying to be as neat as possible. After your time is up, you can begin taking the whole of your product off your eyes. You can do this with a cotton bud dipped in a little bit of water. Make sure every bit of the product is off there. Make sure you do the eye first that you applied the product to first, and then repeat on the next eye. So, are you ready for the most satisfying thing in the whole entire world? I'm now going to dip a little bit of cotton wool into some water, and then I'm going to rub it across the tops of the shields. And what that's going to do is it's going to break down that glue that we've stuck the lashes to, and then with a cotton bud, just slide that underneath the shield and peel back that shield. Oh, guys, that feels so nice. I don't think anyone even understands. Oh. Right, that one's off. So repeat that to the next eye. So when you're doing an eyelash lift, it can be really temperamental. So it depends on like your hormones. It's quite a temperamental treatment. And also, when you take the shields off, they're obviously going to be a little bit wet, your eyelashes, so wait a few minutes before you can see the actual result, before you think that is the last result, because you've got to tint them all and then you've got to wait for them to dry, so they will look better than what they are now. Once you've took off all the products, you're going to stick a couple of damp cotton pads under your eye, like that and like that. And then we're going to mix the tint, and you normally put about a pea size in, I would say, and then whatever amount of tint you put in, you put double the developer. Mix that together really well, and then I'm just going to apply that to the tops of my lashes too. Once you have applied your tint, give that 5 minutes, and then you can remove all that. Right guys, 5 minutes is up, so these can come off, and then dip your cotton pad into some water, and then give that a wash off. Careful not to get any tint in your eye. Okay, so once you've washed the lash tint off, just give it a few minutes just before you actually look in the mirror at like your end result, because they always flick up a little bit more once they've dried. So yeah, that's my DIY at home lash lift tutorial.